Hear ye, all good lords and ladies of the land. I welcome thee once more to another fine day of duels and jousts here on the 100 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Upon which every day for 100 days we shall be dueling with different decks upon every single day. Today is the 63rd day, as well as yet another day of the Waifu Week, which is the week upon which our monsters shall all be based on the fine ladies of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Therefore, we are today featuring the Argostar monsters. They are proud warrior women. Also, they are trap cards. It's quite a novel concept indeed. And that is what we shall be playing today. We shall summon forth our Argostar monsters, playing our trap cards in order to confound our opponents, and laying them low with decisive battling tactics. So, let us boldly strive forth, my lords and ladies. We have ourselves our deck. We shall be showing off the olden combos and wombos, the what and what not do's of how the Argostar monsters function. Therefore, if thou wish to know what cards are in our deck, it shall all be displayed at the end of the duel. But for now, we shall boldly stride forth into the olden EDO Pro, and we shall lay our opponents low. So, of course, hit the like it, comment, and subscription button as well, as you wish to join the Cunning Kingdom in celebration of the Argostars. So, let us cease our words and boldly stride forth into the realm of combat. Verily, my lords and ladies, welcome to the first joust of the day. Another day and another joust, as we say. And we shall attempt to be going first with our deck. We can go to second at some points, but preferably we go first. And we have opened ourselves with quite a good hand indeed. We shall summon forth our Argostar Glorious Adra. She is our most important monster. When summoned forth, she will allow us to banish herself in order to search out 2 traps from our deck. All of the Argostar monsters, save for 2, are trap monsters. It is quite a novel concept. And we shall play them face up and activate the ability of Lightning to Dow, which is quite a powerful card. It allows me to discard one of my cards. In this case, mine Silhouette Hat Trick. I don't need to play any tricks on my opponent, of course. We are honorable warriors here. We shall summon forth our monster here. And all of our monsters are warriors, must be stated. They are all warrior monsters. And our monster here, Tidal, will search us our field spell. The Home Stadium spell. It is quite a good spell, for it will allow me to do damage to my opponent every time my trap monsters are summoned. As well, I'm allowed to get back my banished cards, which is something I would like to do right away. Let us see here. Yes. We shall search forth our Argostar, the Glorious Adra. And in this particular instance, let me think, we shall search 2 of our cards. This is the Apopus Swamp Deity monster, which is clearly a heretical idol, of course, but it is quite useful in our situation here. You know, I will be able to negate my opponent's cards if they happen to play something that I don't want them to play. In this case now, we shall activate our Lightning to Dow's other ability. For every turn, my monsters may summon themselves or return to being trap cards. It's quite good indeed. So we're going to see what my opponent has to offer to us. We have ourselves quite a good beginnings here. Let us see, what is this? Regenesis Warrior. Oh, I see you're playing... Well, that's not a warrior. That's some sort of fiendish creature. Let us see, what does it do? Add yourself another card, you say. Let me think on that. I shall activate mine Apopus, the Deity of Snakes. I might summon it from my spell trap zone as a monster. It will negate cards of mine opponent up to the number of mine trap cards I control. It is also not a once per turn effect, therefore I can use the other one as well. It is quite good indeed. So now my opponent will summon forth yet another monster. Indeed, thou shalt. Thou shalt do that. That is true. Let me think on this. I need to remind myself. Let's see. I can change his monster's attack, but I don't think I need to just yet. Very well. My opponent will summon forth more creatures, which will allow him to do some of his cards, simply not all of them. That would be the best thing. Let's see here. Very well. You summon forth 3 monsters. That's quite good. Quite good indeed. But let us go forth. And we shall activate... Yes, we shall activate our Tidal's ability. We shall discard one of the cards from our hand. Due to the ability of the Swip Kapan monster, my warriors cannot be bested in battle. Therefore, it's quite good to put this monster into defense mode. We shall add ourselves another Argostar card. In this particular situation, we shall search a Fierce Path. You gain 700 attack and defense for every Argostar monster I control with different names, allowing me to defeat my opponent's monsters quite handedly. So we shall see where this goes from here. Oh, you shall summon forth... What is this? What is that? Let's see. Can I be sure my card effects? Declare a monster type. Very well. That doesn't appear to be good. That appears to be some sort of dragon. A very ugly-looking dragon, to be certain, but thankfully I'm a knight, therefore conquering ugly-looking dragons is my specialty. Very well, you summon forth your monster. It's quite an ugly-looking monster, but it's not that big of a problem. Not at all. I have another purpose to negate this card, and if I need to, I can use my glorious Adra to reduce its attack to 0, which I will more than likely do. But now what can my opponent do here? Summon forth this creature, costing him all of his other monsters. Is it any good to you? I don't think so. Let's see. Neither player can summon monsters of that type. It's quite the auspicious card indeed. But I'm not worried at all. See, my opponent doesn't even know that... Okay, now he will activate his effect, yeah. Very good indeed. So we shall activate our Swamp Deity once more. Summoning it to our board. And we shall negate the effect of this dragon. We'll also do some more damage to my opponent. We don't want them to have all their life points. We'll eventually be beating into them, of course, because we're warriors. We do want to do the battle damage. I see. Very well. We will have to do things slightly differently here. I shall summon forth Capain in attack position and deal more damage to my opponent. Very well. You simply have to do this. Let me double check something. Yes, we're good. I think we're quite well indeed. So you shall attack into my monster. However, this is what I've been waiting for. We shall use our Adra's ability. And we shall weaken my opponent's monster to 0. So they will crash into my monster and deal damage to themselves. Haha. You should have not used your materials to summon forth this vile, cruel dragon, you know. It cost you everything. So that is exactly what our deck is meant to do, my lords and ladies. It is meant to confound and confuse our opponent with swift, delicate, and yet fearsome movements. And that is what we did. My opponent wished to summon forth a monster to destroy all my warriors, but no warrior will be defeated by vile dragons so long as I am here. So therefore, we have obtained victory. So let us go forth into the second joust of the day and continue to show what this deck can do, for there are still many things it can, and I would like to show off as many as possible. Finally, my lords and ladies, welcome to the second joust of the day. Let us boldly stride forth. And, well, it would be nice if I got to go first, but unfortunately I don't know if I will. Well, it's a perfectly alright hand for going first, I suppose. Or rather second, let me think here. We shall activate our... I tried the D-shifter monster. That way anything sent to my opponent's grave for the next turn shall be banished. And I see you're playing the Dark Magicians with the proper artwork, which is good. That is very good. Let's see here. Alright. It's exactly what I was hoping to draw into. We shall activate our Giant Hunting spell. Essentially, this searches out any of mine Argostar monsters. It's quite good. It'll be banished, unfortunately, because of the shifter, but it's not important. Not important at all. So we shall summon forth our glorious Adra. We'll use her ability. Yes, she does have also an ability when she is summoned forth. My opponent won't be able to do anything about my trap cards and such. But that's not important at the moment. What's important is we shall get our Tycho. And let's see. We shall get Capain as well. These are the two you wish to start out with the most. For I can summon them both in the same turn. That sort of thing. We shall summon forth Tidao. Onto this field. Now, I already have mine field spell. Let me think on that. I can get whatever I'd like to get. I suppose I'll add the Slayer Eteo as well. So I can get the third trap monster in play. That'll be quite good. Quite good indeed. So we'll set a card. We shall activate our field spell. For we must always have the home field advantage, of course. We wish to battle on our territory in order to have the advantage over our opponents. Now I'll go ahead and use this effect to get back mine monster. Very good. Very good indeed. And let me think about this. Let me think. I could attack with my monster, But that would be such a waste of a thing to do, I feel. So I shall set another card. And we shall activate Dao's ability once more to place her back into the spell trap zone. Very good. We shall end our turn at that and see what my opponent has for us. Let's see here. You have the Eternal Soul card, I see. That can destroy my face down cards. I shall have to use my Ash Blossom card. At the very least, I will detain my opponent for a turn. He can use this every turn, but I might as well stop him from doing it on both of our turns. It's better than nothing. Very well, so now thou shalt add yourself another card. Shall add the Dark Magic Attack spell, which is quite bad for my deck, for it has many of our cards being of traps. Therefore, a card that destroys all spell traps is quite bad for us. But I have my Apopus monster, so that's good. Let me think on this. Let's see. I don't have any cards to discard at the moment, so I'll have to wait on that one. I'll have to wait a moment. But I have my Ateo. Let's see. Such a difficult timing. I must be cautious of my timing at this junction. You will have to forgive me. I must be thinking on this one. My opponent will search themselves many a card. What did he search out to your hand? Timaeus, you say. Very well. Let me think on this one. I shall summon forth mine Slayer Ateo. Shall use her ability now. To summon her forth. Deal damage to mine opponent. And he shall summon forth his dragon. Because of course he will. Of course he will. Let's see here. Very well. I shall activate. Now I need to keep my Apopus monster for now. We shall see. So see where this shall go. It's going to be difficult indeed. He's going to fusion summon into a dragon, of course. As why would he not? He is playing the wizard. You summon forth. What does this card do? Cannot target spell traps. Very well. I shall activate my Apopus Swamp Deity now. To negate all the cards on your board that I may. Let's see. Cannot target spell traps with card effects. Negate the effects of cards, yes. Negating this card, and this card. Negate all of his cards, of course. Shall negate everything that we may. Now, granted, I can negate his trap card, but I can't negate his monster. Because this card protects his monster, at least temporarily. Therefore, for now, it is as it is. Very well. Very well indeed. So you have your Dark Magic Souls. You shall summon forth the Wizard. Very good. Let's see here. Let us activate the effects of our Slayer Ateo. And then I shall also use the ability of my Lightning to Dao. I'll have to discard one of my cards, but that will have to be for now. We shall summon forth our monster. I'll add ourselves another Argostar monster. That way I'll keep mine protection monsters, deal more damage to mine opponent, and see where this goes. Pardon me. So let's see here. Yes. So now you shall attack me with thine monsters. This will make things rather tricky here, I will say. So I shall use mine Argostar's effect. I shall reduce your attack to 0, as I do. Now, granted, I'll still be able to attack mine to Dao with his other monster. But at the very least with this, we've done more damage. Let's see here. Let me think here. Very well. Shall I activate our campaign in the end of phase, I feel? I feel like that would be the best time to do this. Alright. The Magic Karibo. Well, I do like myself a Karibo or two. Although this isn't the Karibo I like to see, but we shall see where this goes. We shall see indeed. You are attacking my Swamp Deity. I see. Not that it does you any good, but very well. Very well. Very well. Ending the main phase, I shall activate mine Swift Campaign's ability. This will allow me to gain more life points as well as dealing more damage to mine opponent. Let's see. The only thing I need to worry about at this juncture, I would say, is that I need to hope that my opponent doesn't have... another one of those dark magical attacks. I'm hoping that was a one-time thing. But we shall see. We shall activate our home stadium's ability now. Because I placed my cards back into my spell trap zone, I might negate the magical knight. And that is a permanent effect, by the way. It's till the end of the turn, of course. It's permanent in my heart. Very well, let's see here. I can negate his trap again, but then again, let's see where this is going to go. I'm going to activate the effect of my home stadium to pay 1,000 life points. I need to reclaim my address so that I can defeat his monsters in battle. That is going to be very important. We shall activate our Lightning to Dow's ability, discarding our field spell that we don't need, to summon her back to the field, and hit my opponent with more damage. As well, we will search out Fierce Path, for she will be strong enough to defeat these monsters, or at least she should be. So let's summon forth our Swift Capane back to our field. Very well. That'll inflict damage to my opponent. And let me see here. What was the other ability of my monster? Reveal. Let's see. Return an Argostar Trap to the hand and special summon my monster. I shall simply summon forth my path. She will be slightly larger than this Dark Magician, if nothing else. So, let us go forth. Let me think on this one. If I activate mine spell here, that will negate the Eternal Soul. Alright, we shall activate our Swift Capane's ability. Shall put our monster back. Let's go ahead and... Well, this won't act... Oh, wait. A slight miscalculation there. Slight miscalculation. Not important. Not important at all. Let's see. My opponent's playing these tricky cards. I can't... The problem is I can't target or destroy his cards. I would like to. Let's me think on this. No, I'm afraid I've made a bit of a mistake on that one. But it's quite alright. Quite alright. So simply make do from here. Let's see. Let us go forth and summon forth this rabbit. I feel like the rabbit might help here. I might have made a mistake there, but it's quite alright. Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Let's see. So I can't destroy it. Normally this would be the part where I would use my statue to destroy my opponent's cards. That would be quite good indeed. Unfortunately, that won't work at this particular instance. But we shall search forth our Silhouette Hat Trick monster. So I can use my Swift Capane monster. Yes. I think that will work quite well. Alright. So a slight mistake on my part, but otherwise not a big problem. Let's see here. What is this playing? The Spellbook of Knowledge, you say? Quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. Let's see here. I shall activate the effect of Slayer Ateo. As well, I shall activate the effect of my Silhouette Hat Trick. Yes, this should work quite well. So we shall summon forth our Silhouette Hat Trick. That will inflict damage to my opponent. And we shall summon forth our Slayer Ateo to return a card on the field to the hand. So I shall return thine Eternal Soul. Very well. Now, because the Eternal Soul left my opponent's board, that will destroy all of his monsters. Now, granted, that's only for a turn. His monster will come back. But it's better than nothing. But you also have that. You have the Dark Magic Circle now. Now things will become a bit more difficult. But I am prepared to deal with this as well. Yes, because now that I have my Silhouette Rabbit... Let's see. Yes, let's negate the spell for a turn. Not that it will do much good, but we'll negate the spell. But yes, next on my next turn, I shall use the effect of mine... let's see, what was it called again? The Little Knight ought to work here. The Little Knight ought to work. Very well. And another Apopus monster. Quite good indeed. Quite good indeed. Let us summon forth our Slayer Ateo once more. Summoning forth our monster. And once more, we shall return a card on our opponent's field to their hand. And deal more damage to them. And unfortunately for my opponent, that will just, well, it'll stop him from doing whatever he wishes to do. And I could have destroyed his circle, but, well, I'm about to stamp out his circle with my boot. So, despite my mistake, I was able to quickly out this Dark Magician. Do you think a wizard can use his dark wiles to stop me? Hardly. Ha ha. I'm a brave and powerful knight with a gaggle, a troop, a sisterly knighthood, one might say, of powerful warriors. You cannot stop me with wizards. That's just how it goes. So, good for our second joust of the day, my lords and ladies. We have time for one more today. So, let us boldly stride forth into our final joust of the day. Perhaps we'll do a fourth. We'll see how it goes. But let's go for the third and see what it brings us. Well, my lords and ladies, welcome to the third joust of the day. It is time for the old fighting joust. And let's see. I don't get to go first again. That is unfortunate. Luckily, this hand is quite good, though. So we shall see where this goes. Let's see. What is this playing? The Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I see. I shall activate my Dimension Shifter, simply in case my opponent tries to send their cards to the graveyard. It is quite good indeed. It'll work either way. Plus, it will work on my opponent's turn as well. So we shall see where this is going. I see. Fascinating indeed. Very well. We shall activate our Part of Extravagance spell. And we shall also activate ourselves the Giant Hunting spell. As soon as I can click the button. There we go. There we go. So we shall activate both of these cards in concert with one another. That way, I can get everything I wanted to have. So you shall activate your Welcome Labrynth Trap card. Very well. And that will activate the effect of thine Heavenly Prison monster as well. So that'll make things a little challenging for us, but nothing too significant here. Ah, quite good indeed. So yes, he is playing the Labyrinth monsters, it would seem. You didn't use the effect of your Lord of Prisons, which is fine by me, I suppose. This will work just fine, because for the rest of this turn, any card you send to the grave will still be sent to the banished pile. So I'm quite good with that. Alright, let us summon forth, activating our field spell, of course. Home field advantage and all that good stuff. Shall activate our Argostar Trap. But she is our chief monster, and she shall win us yet again. So let's summon forth our Lightning to Dow. And I already have Campaign. Do I wish to use the effect of a tail instead? Hard to say. I suppose since I already have Campaign, we shall get a Teo instead. She did us good work, therefore I will trust her. I shall trust her indeed. So we'll use the effect of our monster. If I remember correctly from what Lord Memphis told me, these monsters are more around trap cards as well. So I shall remove my spell, for I don't think I'll need it as much. But let's go ahead and get ourselves another card to our hands. We shall search forth our Pierce Path. That way we have a monster that we can attack with. We'll deal damage to our opponents and search back our Adra. Let's see here. Let's see, we should get back our Adra monster. Yes, quite good. And I could return my card to my hand to summon forth Path. That wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, but I wouldn't have enough attack points to destroy his monsters. That is the unfortunate truth of the matter. So let us instead set our cards to our board, and we shall see what comes of it. Let us attack his face-down monster, simply because we know that if we destroy it, it will be removed from play. Very good. So we shall remove that monster from play. I was hoping that that would be something he would like to have in the grave. And let's see, what does this card do? Banish from the graveyard, excavate cards. Yes, this is definitely something he wanted in the graveyard. All right. So from here, I think we're quite good. Quite good indeed. Let us end our turn for now and see what comes of it. For I have mine cards all prepared upon my board. I decide to make mine Statue of the Anguish pattern now. That way I have it prepared. Let's see, what does this card do? Normal trap was active. Well, I'm playing continuous traps. Therefore, that doesn't work. What does this do? When a card is activated, includes by summons a monster, negate that card, you say. Well, that is unfortunate. I shall activate the effect of a Teo then. So summon forth a Teo, and then See what happens here. Well, unfortunately, my statue is now frozen in place. It's rather unfortunate indeed. But what can that do? Let's see here. Well, I suppose... I wish that mine path worked on all of my continuous traps here, but that's... it's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Very well. So you shall summon forth another monster. I shall activate my swift campaign here. Simply to have another card prepared. Shall see where this is going to go. The standby phase and the first main phase are now here. And now that I have campaign, my monsters can be bested in battle at the very least. Let's see. These monsters are both having 3,000 attack points. It's quite a lot of attack points. But yes, this is an unfortunate scenario that has happened to us. I don't like that the statue pattern monster, as vile of a creature or whatever it is, has been negated, but such happens on occasion. I would have preferred this being destroyed if nothing else, but it's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. So we shall see where this will go. I still have my Ardra monster, so I can effectively defeat either of these monsters in battle. Let's see. Yes, I don't target cards, so he has no protection from this with his Lady of the Silver Castle, who is clearly some sort of fiendish monster. I mean, it says she's a fiend, therefore she's a fiendish monster. Very well. So my opponent shall attack my monsters. I assume that they shall attack a tail, but I will go ahead and put a tail back into my spell trap zone as soon as possible. That way he has to attack a Taidu instead. Tadao. Tadao. How do you pronounce her name? I've been calling her Tadao, but it could be Tadao for all I know. She does have a lot to do, after all. But that's... You understand. You understand. Alright, let's activate the effect of Slayer Tadao. Or Atao. See, I can't remember all the names. There's too many of them. There's Capain, there's Atao, and then there's Tadao. So are you two related? Their names sound similar. Regardless. So now we have put our monster back into our spell trap zone. Therefore, we are quite good. We're quite good indeed. My plan is, of course, to beat over the Lady of the Silver Castle here, because it is the most problematic card at the moment. So we'll see where this will go. Very good. Which shall you attack with first? You have your lady, you have this giant abomination creature, and you have what appears to be a maid of some form. Which appears to also be some sort of demonette, so therefore, well, that's just your problem. Anyway, I shall activate the effect of our Argostar monster, Lady Lardra, and shall reduce your attack to 0. Very good. So that is to remove my opponent's monster from the board. Now what can that do? Are you prepared, sir? Now, regrettably, I can't do that again, mostly because I don't have another copy of the card, but also just because I don't need to. I don't really need to right now. Very good, and we're fine. Quite good indeed. I might take some damage from this, but my monsters shall remain upon the field of battle, and that's the most important thing. So now I need to think of what I want to do on my next turn. I could go for my extra deck monsters. What cards remain in my extra deck? Let's see here. Well, I could certainly summon forth the giant Zeus monster. Summoning forth that mighty warrior, indeed, would be quite potent. Is that the right card to play, however? That is the ultimate question I have. Let's summon forth Swift Campaign in the end of phase here. I shall reclaim some life points and deal damage to my opponent. Yes. Very good. So now what... Oh, you have something else you wish to do, perhaps? Perchance they do. Perchance they don't. Hard to say indeed. But I think I have my opponent on the run here. I think I have them right where I'd like them to be. Yes, they have 2 cards face down, and it is perchance more of these trap cards. What else does this do? I drew this card from the hand, which he didn't, so it doesn't matter. And let's see. During the end of the main phase, yes, the end of phase is here. So, with that in mind, let us see what do we have here. Well, we have another Fierce Path. Let's see. I would give my monster 1,400. It's not quite enough to defeat his monster. We'll use our home stadium's ability, though. We will do this every turn as long as we may. As long as we may, we shall. As long as we may, we shall use the effect of our field spell to claim the glorious Adra. While she may not be glorious in the traditional sense, like the Lord above or King Karibo or anything like that, she is the most potent of the cards in our deck. She is allowing us to search our cards and all that. Let's see. Summon a monster, then return a monster without control to the hand. Let's see. I think if I shall activate my Slayer Ateo monster, as well as activating the ability of my Apopus monster as well. So we shall summon forth our Apopus monster. We shall negate this card, and, well, it won't negate everything he has, because we have the option to do so, and deal some more damage to my opponent. We shall summon forth our Slayer monster, and return their face-down card to their hand. Quite good indeed. I don't know why you thought that would be the method, sir. Alright, well, this is much better than I was thinking. I was thinking I had to be clever about this, but I don't think I will. I think I'll simply wipe your monsters from the face of the earth. I hope you don't mind. Ha ha! Go forth, mighty warrior maidens! Slay the infidels! Say they run in fear! So, I think that'll be good for today. We've shown off our deck. We've done what we wish to do here. And it's really going to be more of this. I do have extra deck cards, but for the most part, this is what our deck is meant to do, and I'm quite pleased with it. So let us proceed to the end of screen. We should talk more about today's deck. Verily, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the end of screen, where our Argostar warriors have won victories in the name of the king. It is quite a good show that they have put on for us today. Our trap monsters are able to confound and confuse our opponents before landing their decisive blows, and it is quite a show to see indeed. And we were able to summon out almost every card in our deck to one descent or another, and it was quite good. I didn't get to use the statue as much as possible, but that is neither here nor there. We have other cards to work with our cards. So I'm quite pleased with how today's festivities worked out. Our Argostar monsters remain uncontested, and they are quite good indeed. So if thou did enjoy today's festivities, do not forget to hit the like it, the comment, and the subscription button, as they are most important for increasing morale of the Curry Kingdom, as well as becoming members of said kingdom, which is the best kingdom in the world that you don't ever want to be a part of any other kingdom for. The Curry Kingdom is the best one. That is just how facts work. So here is today's deck. Take it, go forth, and win yourselves glory and honor in the name of the king and the Lord above. So for our main deck, we have 3 copies of the Shifty monster, the Dimensional Shifter monster, 2 copies of the Ossa Earth Channeler monster, but allows me to search for more of my glorious Adra. We have 3, of course, of the glorious Adra. She is very important in our deck. 2 copies of the Pierce, which is Pierce Path, that was her name. She's quite powerful indeed. She has other abilities, but her most important feature is she has a large stick and she can hit people with it. 3 copies of the Ash Blossom monster, which is some sort of face spirit child thing, so we'll sweep that under the rug later, but for today, she was good for us. 1 copy of the Reinforcement of Arms, because our army needed reinforcement, but not at all today, but if we ever needed it, we had it here. We have 3 copies of the Part of the Extravagance, because our extra deck is more, well, extra. We have 1 of the Terraforming spell. We have 3 copies of our Giant Hunting spell, which searches out more of our monster. 2 copies of the Dimensional Fissure spell, which reminds me of the dimensional hole that I go through to reach Lord Memphis' homeworld. It's quite odd. Anyway, we have ourselves 3 copies of our home stadium. We always wish to be upon the field of battle that is most pleasing to our own warriors. We have 2 copies of our Statue of the Anguish Pattern Trap monster. 1 of the Salute discard. We have 2 copies of the Slayer Ateo monster. 1 of the Angel Statue. 3 copies of our Lightning Tidal, 3 copies of our Apopus Swamp monster, and 2 copies of our Swift Campaign monster. As for an extra deck, it is quite simplistic. We have things like the Masquerader monster. We have the Moon of Closed Heaven, which is some sort of aristocratic young maiden or something. Although she appears to be... Is she cavorting with a dragon? We might have to take her out. I'll take her out later, regardless. We have 2 copies of this rabbit. We have 1 copy of the Little Knight. We have our Nightmarish Unicorn monster. 1 copy of the Underworld Goddess, which... Is that an older version of this monster or something? Or maybe they're cavorting with the same dragon, something like that. Regardless, we have 2 copies of our Excitable Knight, which is a bit of an odd-looking knight, but he is a knight, therefore he works well with us. We have 2 copies of the Maguska monster, 2 copies of the Typhon monster, and 2 copies of the Double A Zeus monster. As for our side deck, there are a few cards in here to consider. If you do not wish to be playing all of the dimensional cards in your deck, there's things such as the mythical Beast of Circuit monster, which works with a continuous trap monsters and the like. I don't want to play it though because, you know, it's clearly some sort of heretical monster creature. I'd rather slay this creature than play it. We have things like the Clear-Sighted, which is some sort of wizard, but he allows me to get my set cards from my hand or grave and activate them in the same turn. It's quite good. There's also things like the Rookie Warrior Lady, which is a hand trap monster, much like our Adra, which will reduce my opponent's attack power. It's quite good indeed for attacking into larger monsters, and it is an option if you, again, do not wish to play the dimensional cards. Then, of course, we have the Temple of Kings, which works with the Circuit Monster. The only reason you play the Circuit Monster, I suppose, where I can play my traps the turn they are set. It's just once per turn, but it's still something. There's also these Tiki cards, which are clearly cursed idols, but there are other trap monsters as well. More of the Silhouette Hat monster. And that was what we had in this one. So, thank thee, my lords and ladies, for another day of fine jousts and duels here on the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tomorrow, it's going to be different because Lord Memphis said he really wanted to play tomorrow's deck. I'm not certain why he doesn't want me to play it, but that's neither here nor there. I guess I'll take a day off. Sometimes a knight needs to take a day off. It has been about 30-40 days since I've taken a break, therefore, it's about that time. Alright, I'll take my customary 10-minute break. Regardless, thank thee once more, my lords and ladies, where I shall see you on the 65th day as we continue to conclude the week of beautiful maidens here on the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! And until next time, my lords and ladies, I bid thee a fond farewell, fare thee well, and I shall see you again.